The French motorcycle has been being interesting. French, I guess. I don't know what we should call it. It seems insulting to the French.
Well, what are you then? I'm French.
Like we've always said, I got a good deal on this bike originally when I first bought it from Sherco themselves. My allegiance is to the Republic, to democracy. Or it's to you guys and the truth. And the Sherco is a mixed bag of things so far. If you didn't see the video with the very first ride I did on it, not the review, that was actually a different one. I immediately took it to the track and it immediately broke. There was an oil leak seal at the water pump. The dealership was able to get the parts in a couple days and they warranted, fixed it, blah, blah, blah. I've got my thoughts on that own video. Sort of an up and down kind of thing to it. They took care of it quick. It was obnoxious to happen in the first place, but it was like a real fun introduction to my first European motorcycle. Like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna get a KTM. I'm gonna buy a Raptor. Now I'm gonna buy a Sherco. It's gonna be the greatest. It's gonna be fun, it'll be different. Since then, the bike's been pretty darn good. We got to make up for first track day where it really wasn't even a real track day. I think I did 16 miles in total. I wanted to make up for it, put some even stickier tires on it, went to the track and just freaking dominated. The thing was everything I knew it could be. All right, game on. I mean, basically the only people there that could touch me were people on non-DOT tires. So literally at just a fun, you know, flowy pace, I could run around everybody on DOT tires, pass them at will. The bike is unfair to everybody else. However, when I got home and was cleaning the bike up, spinning the rear wheel, cleaning the chain, and I noticed something peculiar. The tire was definitely making contact with the swing arm now. That's probably not for the best. Hold the wheel off, and this is where the fun began. First of all, we'll get back to the wheel. Let me tell you some fun things I noticed taking this off. The bracket that holds the rear brake caliper, it's one of these ones that is got like a captured slot on it. Most of them just sort of have like a dongle on it and it goes into the thing, you know, you got the thing, one thing goes into the other thing, you know. That's good enough. But this bike has like sort of an ovally thing with a slot. I've seen this on some other European bikes, but Sherco decided to go one step further and make it so that you can't take the wheel off unless this thing is slid back and like hits this exact notch at the furthest point back. Problem with that, you can barely get this wheel off in the Supermoto bike. I'm pretty sure that this whole setup is maybe to benefit people on enduro models, because I mean that's kind of their thing, hard enduro with Sherco. Sometimes they have to do those wheel changes where the rider himself has to do all the work. So this setup with the rear caliper is really good for keeping the caliper in place while you pull the wheel off. Problem is, with a big Supermoto wheel, especially when I have a 160 on there, it's insane to get the wheel out. I did the normal thing where you drop the chain guide on the other side and just let it hang. That's a good trick on all Supermotos to help clear, but this was a step further. And I got to looking at it, and the whole reason why you have to go down to this rear slot is because they've put this sort of bump notch on the rear peggy thing that sticks out. These are the official words. Now here's where you may agree or disagree with me. See, I looked at that little nub there and I thought, I don't need that. So I took a grinder to my $13,000 French Supermoto that's hard to get parts for, we're gonna get to that, and just kind of grind it away. If you've been on this channel before, you know I don't mind grinding things off for frames, even on very new bikes. It's just not something that's ever bothered me. But I grinded that nub off. This is how to fix it. So someone from Sherco, France, when you're gonna put the Supermoto versions of these bikes out, grind that notch a little bit. Everything still works exactly the same. Once you pop it all on there and the axle's through, like engineering, we're fine. I'm not an engineer, but I know we're fine. After grinding, by the way, I did test this. I put the wheel on and off, tried it out. Awesome. But anyways, I had to get to the wheel. Put the wheel in my tire change machine. It's one of those Rabicondas, not the cool new ratchety one. It's the older school kind, but it's still really cool. I like this machine. I threw the wheel in the truing stand, and yeah, it definitely has an up and down motion to it. We're gonna get more into what I think about this and whether I think this is Sherco's fault. We're gonna save that for the end. I never even asked them if they would warranty it. They might have, and I happen to know how to fix it. So I started to loosen up all the spokes, as you do. Made sure I knew what the offset was before I started playing with all that. Just get everything loose so we can start to re-true the wheel, get it back into shape. And that's where we ran into another stupid issue. See, out of 36 nipples, actually Sherco calls them spoke heads, and I like that better. Out of 36 spoke heads, one of them was a little stiff, and I was just merrily going along, and I rounded that son of a bitch off, okay? Whatever, right? Spoke heads are pretty common. Well, the Sherco Supermoto wheels use oversized ones. That's awesome because it should be more durable. They should hold up for longer. But the annoying thing with that is you can't find them. I went to every little shop around me, called up my local dealer, Monkey Moto, where I got this thing from. They informed me I would unfortunately have to order 36 of them, the entire amount. but it was only like $27. I said, you know what? Then I'll have a whole lot of spares. Let's get it done. Another item I went ahead and ordered while I was ordering that, one of the drain bolts on this bike, there's 3 of them, is a little bit stripped. And this is on me. I kind of boogered it up a little bit. It's aluminum, so it's pretty easy to do. It was simple part number, and the local dealer said, yep, it should be here in a few days. That was 2 months ago. Yeah. With quite a bit of time to kill, my bike's sitting there on the stand with no wheel on it. You get curious, you start looking at things. One thing I had noticed before is when you roll the bike, it seemed kind of hard to roll at times. I wanted to look a little closer. This bike runs a chain slider. It looks something like this. This is the chain slider between the frame and the chain on the underside. Some manufacturers like to put a roller there, some of them put a slider, where it actually is designed to pivot. You see that hole there in the center? It sort of rocks on that a little bit. I think this is to try to help take up slack, like under decel. I've seen the KTM ones have a real long stick that comes down. That's fine and all. I'll trust the engineers know what they're doing with that, except look how boogered this thing is. This thing is completely torped. And by the way, the bike has just a little over 400 miles right now, and this is what's going on. It's definitely causing some friction and some accelerated wear of numerous parts. I don't know if they all do this, if there's just something wrong with the one I have. I don't like this slider, and I'm gonna do what I know works well. I ordered a chain roller. I think it was a 24 mil by 24 mil all balls racing chain roller. It fits in there absolutely perfect. Tried to get video of myself putting this in here, but all you could see was the back of my hands. Can't see anything. Here it is in action. You can see it rolling here. I mean, the chain really only contacts it very sort of unloaded. The cool thing is that bolt and that everything about it was designed to handle all the weight that would have from a chain slider, and this one was binding up and it didn't bend or break anything. So a roller in there should be perfectly fine. All Balls Racing makes really good stuff. So I think if you own one of these bikes, you might want to look at that. You may want to think about putting a chain roller back there. The only thing I did have to do is I did go to the hardware store and I made sure I got a bolt with the exact right shank area. Now I've modified 2 things. Modified the swing arm a little, put a chain roller back there under the frame. But what about those parts? Monkey Moto was not worried about getting the parts. Their warehouse is out of San Antonio. I'm up here in the Dallas area, and the parts showed in stock and apparently were being shipped. As of today, it's been 2 months and those parts still haven't shown up. Now, Monkey Moto, for their part, has been keeping up with me. They've been emailing me. But the problem is, as time goes, the story is not like, oh, we're just waiting for them to be shipped. I'm not sure where they are. We're trying to get an update on tracking. It starts turning into, hey, I don't know, I can't find these parts anywhere in the US, can't find them anywhere in Canada. I think we're gonna have to order them direct from France. France doesn't have them. The world doesn't have them. The whole world. This motorcycle that's being produced today, we can't get parts for. That takes me to about a week ago. I'm gonna see what I can do myself. Now, the oil drain bolt was pretty easy. I knew what size it was. I went on Amazon. I got a 1-day bolt for this thing. Now, the nipples, or spoke heads, were a little trickier. I had to hit up a wheel builder to get these parts. Shout out to Woody's Wheel Works up in Denver, Colorado. Not a sponsor. I gave them a bunch of measurements, sent them a bunch of pictures, thread pitch, everything. I said, this is what I've got. They said, yes, we've got those. How many would you like? 10 bucks for 3 or something like that. I said, then give me a half dozen. Also, big shout out to Honda 420. It's a gentleman in our Patreon. He lives up in Denver, and I asked him, hey, can you go get these? Yeah, he actually made a video going in and retrieving those and getting them to him. I never told Woody's Wheel Work, I'm a YouTube man. Give me a deal, hook me up. I called them like a general customer, and they were really, really helpful. So if you ever need some wheel stuff, hit them up. I will also say, the next day after my drain bolts showed up, another one showed up from Moose Racing that Monkey Moto, the dealership, had ordered. Look, they don't love this whole situation too. They knew it was getting crazy, and they said, you know, I'm just gonna try to find you an aftermarket one. So now I've got parts in hand, through the wheel and the truing stand. Again, those spoke heads they sent were the exact same thing, even the casting marks. They're perfectly good. The only difference is I think it's not as polished. Started truing it up. Truing a wheel's so funny. So many people in my Discord were like, dude, you just gotta get a new set of wheels. But no, if you learn how to do it, there's a lot of videos on it. It's not that hard, just time. It's sort of time consuming, but it's not a big deal. Now, when the wheel has an impact in it, which is kind of what this one was looking like, you could deal with them, but you have to end up like tightening the entire rest of the wheel to sort of hunk it into it. After about an hour playing with it, torqued it all down, and I'd say we're like 95% there. We're definitely within tolerance. Mounted the tire back up, got it rebeaded, put the wheel back on with my super cool modified caliper, and life is good. I think we're good there. Then I went ahead and got on the oil change, dumped all the oil. Oil looked real good coming out. All the screens looked absolutely clean. There's 2 screens on this thing. The filter didn't look unusual. Filled it back up with that super thick. This thing takes 1060. KTM dealership down the street from me sells Motor X in 1060, and it says gas on it. So, you know, yeah, there's nothing really else to report on. The bike's gone together fine, and I've been out riding it today.
So what's the deal with these French guys? They can't get no parts in? I'll give you what I think's going on with these things. There's no excuse for the spoke nipple. Sherco has them as a part you can order. Here's what I know from working at dealerships. Did it! Typically at a dealership, you don't order parts for wheels anymore. If you have a bad wheel, they literally just order an entire another new wheel. It may not have actually been a part that Sherco could get, even though there's a part number. When I called Woody's Wheel Works and told him what happened, he goes, oh yeah, OEMs don't get wheel parts. It's possible they were never going to be able to get that part, and I was going to have to go through somebody. Now again, that's no excuse. They let me order it, let me pay for it. No excuse then. You need to get me that part, or you need to inform me, hey, we can't get that. So let's say we give them a pass for that. I don't think we should, but if we did, we certainly can't give them a pass for is a f***ing oil drain plug. This is a part that should be available. You know, this is not some impossible thing. They make this engine right now. Why can't you get me a plug? Maeda pointed out from my Discord, he made a really good point. He said, hey man, aren't you supposed to replace a piston in this thing? And like, all the engine components every time you take it around the block? I was like, yeah, pretty much according to the manual. He's like, how would you even do that? Like, that's a good point. I hadn't even thought about that. Woo! What happens if I need some piston rings, valve guide seal? Is it going to be the same scenario, or did we just get bad luck? I don't know. Regardless, I'm not real thrilled about it. The fact that I had to basically give up on Sherco USA and do this myself, I don't think that's acceptable. I don't think that's okay. Like, there at least should be some communication, because I don't even think, like, these parts just seem like, oh yeah, they're on order. Are they located anywhere? No idea. What am I supposed to do? Hearing all this too, by the way, I could have hit up someone at Sherco corporate and told them what was going on, and they might have, made some stuff happen. But I didn't want to do that. I was like, I'm going to do this like a general customer, and I'm going to see how it goes. I'm doing this because I kind of want to bust Sherco up a little bit for this, particularly Sherco USA, for not keeping a customer informed about what their parts were, for not getting them to them, seemingly being like in a forever loop. That's how I feel. I feel like they would have never showed up. Maybe the oil drain plug eventually, but like, if it's true that I ordered a part that you guys actually can't get and nobody ever informed someone, like someone should have been calling that dealer being like, we can't get those. That's an unusual size and we can only order a whole wheel. Fine, then say that. But what about the parts themselves having these issues in the first place? Well, the oil drain plug is on me, like I said before. What about the wheel going out of true on a bike that's got less than 500 miles on it? Maybe you could go push those houses over and do a Domino's. Sherco just build garbage wheels? What's the deal? So again, I'm not making an excuse for them for this. I'm just going to give you some realities of how this works. These manufacturers, Sherco, Yamaha, KTM, Harley Davidson, they don't make their wheels. They order them from somebody. EID, Excel, Sunstar, whatever. There's a couple brands. Nobody at the Sherco factory is like putting these wheels together. Doesn't mean they're excused of responsibility if one of these wheels goes bad. It might have just been one that wasn't torqued up all the way, or it just hit just right. It's hard to say. Now, did they use a garbage company? Is it some China wheel? This thing says Motard Spain on it. I have no idea who makes this wheel. I don't think it's a bad product. I mean, like I said, it's got oversized spokes on it. I'm almost wondering if it just wasn't properly torqued or something. Maybe I should have checked that. I do think a rim should be able to handle more impacts than that. Like if I come up short on one of the enduro bikes and smack it on a jump, this still wasn't even a big jump, right? Let's be honest. It was a short little jump. I would assume that the Excel rim would take that. It would take probably a lot of those before you'd have a problem. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I don't love it. And as somebody who worked at shops and had my hands on a lot of wheels, had them broken down, doing tires and other things, so many wheels are out of true when I mess with them. And nobody ever wants to get them trued up. If you got a wheel with spokes on it, there's a good chance your wheel's out of spec right now, and you don't even know it. And honestly, this being on the rear, even with a big up and down, I couldn't feel it at all. I got this wheel like 95% back to normal, but I am going to keep my eye on it. If it continues to be a problem, it's just a 36 spoke Supermoto rim, like a 5-inch. I'll get a Warp 9, I don't care. But I'm just trying to tell you guys the truth. I'm trying to tell you what I've experienced so far. Just to reiterate, this thing is good. I mean, just a minute ago on the way up here, I found a new racetrack. You guys know I like my racetracks. And it's just so good. Nothing like mechanically crazy has happened to it. It's just dumb little stuff. But it's dumb little stuff that's ruining my day. Let me also say this too, by the way. This is not unique to Sherco having parts just be gone and on order like this. We had a guy on our Discord who had to order parts for his KTM, that took a year to show up. He couldn't ride it. It was for a year, a brand new 690. Its warranty ran out. He rode it for like 4 days. My Honda CRF 300L, I ordered CBR cams for it, factory Honda part. 3 months. They had no clue, similar to Sherco. So maybe I'm beating them up a bit. Realistically, don't think it's acceptable from any brand. What if I was like straight up trying to do competition stuff with this? I had signed up for races, and now I can't go to them because you can't get me parts. I just think it's unacceptable from all brands. For some reason in the motorcycle world, brands have just gotten more okay, especially here in the US, of just letting you basically be stranded on parts. Everyone just needs to do a little better. Also, by the way, if you've seen those, you know, those parts that we modified, the swing arm and then put the roller bearing on there, if you think, oh man, what the hell were they thinking? Every bike I have, I end up having numerous things like this, where I look at it and decide that I know better than all the engineers, and that's not as big a deal as it sounds. But anyway, look, Sherco, you did build a really good bike. Minuet, as I'm calling her, is a bad machine. She's not just some fantasy hologram girl. I just want y'all to do a little better on some things. There's likely a longer version of this video over on Discord, Patreon. It's only $1 a month. Jump in the Discord if you do and hang out with us, say hi. Tell me I'm an idiot and I should have bought a Kawasaki or something. Out of my way, sweeties! Yarr!
Flintstones, meet the Flintstones.
A perfectly good refrigerator. Refrigerator's in great shape. Oh, I've gotten stuck. Oh no, stepbrother. And I think that's the end of the video.
Dead ass!